Welcome back to Stadia Source, your number one source for Stadia news and reviews. My name is Avery. This is the Stadia Source Roundtable Podcast, episode 51, and we've got a great show tonight, so let's get right to it. With us, as always, we got the editor-in-chief, chief architect, guru, master control, the man behind the Tron,
Master Chief
Dan Wheeler.
How you doing, everybody?
We've got your favorite murderous rampaging killer there on the corner. We got Dom.
Good evening, everyone.
We have everybody's favorite designer of cute collectible objects in upcoming Kickstarter-backed video games. It's Scarlett.
Hi, you prickle of porcupines.
That one's lovely.
It's adorable.
And we're gonna bow down to the king. It's Mix.
Hey, everyone.
Good to have you on the show tonight. You may know our guest from her bylines on NME and IGN, covering all things video games, strong coffee, and cats. It's Miri Teixeira. So good to have you on the show tonight. Before we get started, did you know you can get The Roundtable as an actual podcast? Search for Stadia Source on Spotify Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever it is you happen to get podcasts. Also, if you're watching us live, we want you to be a part of the conversation. Be sure to say hi in the chat. And if you'd want to make sure we bring up your conversation or your message during the show, hit that super chat button or that super sticker button. We absolutely appreciate you supporting us that way. Last but not least, you can join Stadia Source right here on YouTube is the name of the platform we're on. Wow, it's
on
that day,
MySpace,
you guys. You can join us right here on Friendster. Members get amazing perks from exclusive community play live streams, such as the Dawn by Daylight Masterclass coming next weekend, and early access videos, Stadia Source merch. So click the join button down below and learn more to become a member. Miri, so good to have you on the show tonight. For those who may not be super familiar with you, I found you through some awesome writing about the state share feature on Hitman and some other stuff. Tell people a little bit about you, your history with gaming, why I said that thing I did about coffee and cats, and what we ought to know about you.
Okay, there's not a load to tell. I write for, as you say, NME, IGN, indie game website. I kind of float between them, doing bits and bobs, freelance journalism. Just really like cats and coffee, so if I can write about a game that has either of those things in, I probably will. I write a lot about politics as well, which probably makes me less popular. But yeah, that's about it.
Fantastic. Well, good to have you. Good to have you on the show. So we're just commenting in the chat that our boxes seem smaller today. So there we go. Is that better? We're back to full size. Wait. Okay. Oh, yep. No. Okay. Yeah, we're good. It's weird. StreamYard. If you do the big box, it's fine. Well, we're so glad to have you on the show to chat the week's Stadia news and gaming news and all that good stuff. And we will get the show started as we always do with a little roundup of what we have been playing on Stadia or anywhere else. And so we will go in reverse order this time. We'll go to Mix at the bottom and go up from there. So Mix, tell us what's been on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise.
All right, I'm ready to nerd out a little bit. Little Nightmares 2, okay? I played Little Nightmares 1, and I love that game so much. And I just, started Little Nightmares 2 today, and that game is just everything I thought it was going to be and more. It is, absolutely, positively, indisputably game of the year for me right now. That game is amazing.
Oh, game of the year on February 11th.
Yeah,
that's okay though.
Yeah,
okay
pretty much. I always do a thing throughout the year where I just look at every game that comes out every month, and I'm like, okay, is this a game of the year contender? Yes, for me, Little Nightmares 2 right now is just yes, everything. That's pretty much what I've been playing.
So it's just Little Nightmares.
Yeah,
fantastic. All right, hey, that's fun. I played all of 3 minutes of the first one, and then it was no, because the little sluggy things kept killing me, and I was tired of the sluggy things. So it's okay. I think I've watched you play it on stream a little bit. Miri, what's been on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
I've really gone for comfort gaming in the third lockdown that we've had in Scotland. So basically just gone back to playing Sims 4 and Fallout 4 and New Vegas, basically on a kind of carousel. Just whichever one I fire up first.
I don't know that I would take dystopian apocalypse as comfort gaming, but that's an interesting choice.
I mean, yeah.
It's nostalgia.
It's very comforting for me.
There you go. Fantastic. Well, Scarlett, what's been on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
I have not had a whole lot of a chance to play this week. I've been very busy trying to get these displays done now as opposed to the end of the month. So I don't know, I guess just some more Mario Run on my phone. My husband's like, how did you get these levels? I was like, I bought it.
You've been selling them Storm something kits.
Yeah,
Stormlight.
the Eye of
So
Stormlight
you
displays.
got the money. You got the money. Come on.
I need to get those out.
And you're going to be getting all those royalties from Sky Climbers, right? We'll
Oh my gosh.
No.
I mean,
We'll-
I don't
we'll
know, because
talk about
technically I've already given it to them.
Here's free stuff. Enjoy.
Yeah,
And you gave
enjoy.
them money too on top of that. So
Yeah, I did.
Dom, what's been on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
I've been playing an absolute ton of Red Dead Online again, because the Stadia community on there is 99% awesome. Big shout out to people like Color.
Name the 1%, Dom.
I don't know that I like. There's just some people who, as they call it, they grief. So like everyone else is quite friendly and like, hey, do you need this? And like, I a couple of weeks ago I logged on and again shout out to Color and Queen Rach. They just came over and gave me some legendary animals and was like, this is some legendary stuff. And I was like, oh cool. And I was just like, yeah, just have it. And I was like, wow, that's pretty. Thank you. Also, I've been playing a lot of F1 still. Me and two friends, and we're part of the Stadia racing community now. We do a race every other Sunday and stuff, and it's a lot of fun, but can be like tonight was incredibly frustrating because I think we did about 5 races, and in 4 of the races I went out on the first corner through no fault of my own. So those 2 games mainly.
No fault of your own. Sure it was. Sure it was. Dan, how about you? I know last week you didn't get a chance to play anything. How about this week? Well, he's clearly still played absolutely nothing because he's muted, so we can't tell.
Yeah, my bad. I've actually played something this week. I jumped in for 1 game of Outcasters with the gaming advocate, Chase. And then we jumped in and played a few Destiny matches on Crucible because the new season's come out in Destiny 2. So I jumped in and had a look at what that's all about. And other than that, I mean, me and my partner have been playing a lot of Pokemon Go. And it's like, as I said in the previous weeks, it was kind of, she didn't particularly like the game, but I did her a deal. I says, if you play it seriously for 1 week, then I'll do what it was she wanted me to do. And now it's like she's saying to me, let's go. There's a Pikachu at the church. And like, so we've been going out for walks for like, sometimes we went out the other night for about 4 hours and it was absolutely like snowing crazily outside. So, and but it was fun. It was exciting to get the exercise because that's what it technically is. That's what we tell the police when they follow us around all night, which they did. But yeah, that's what we've been playing.
Oh, that's too funny. Very fun. I have been I've been back on Final Fantasy 14. You guys, I reinstalled it over the weekend and I have not played. I stopped playing Final Fantasy 14 before the first expansion came out. Not after the relaunch, but before Ishgard, I can't even think of the names of the expansions. And so yeah, I've been enjoying that. I've been waking up early to play it before work so that I don't take up time with my wife after work. And then I've been playing it on my lunch breaks. And it's just not like that's Final Fantasy 11 is one of the reasons I dropped out of college. So we're going to be careful here. We're going to just be nice and solid. I've still played a little bit more Assassin's Creed. I was on the co-op mode podcast last night. And I was kind of talking about I'm like 30 hours, 40 hours into this, and I just don't know if I want to keep going. It's just boring at this point, and maybe it'll get better again. I need to find out from Lee, how far he made it and if he found the same thing. But I'm just like, I don't know. In the chat, tell me if you have also played Assassin's Creed and found it as boring as I have at a certain point. I mean, it's fine, but I just can't. And then I play a little Journey Savage Planet. Fantastic. Chat, tell us what you've been playing too. We want to know that. We got a lot of folks who've been on an ARPG kick. Charles doing Gungeon. Gungeon, super fun. I haven't actually got a chance to play it yet, but try to do that. Joan wants to know if anybody's doing the. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Minecraft Dungeons. I totally forgot that. Yeah, we play it a lot at my family. It's a great family game.
Fantastic. Anybody getting in on that Pokemon Go event on the 20th?
Yeah.
Dan already got that ready to go.
Yeah, it's an all day event. It's like it's one of those things. I'm excited, but I also can't be bothered. It's like I think it's going to be running from 9 a.m. in the morning till 9 at night, and you've got to catch every single one of the original 150 Pokemon in one day or something like that. So
yikes. Victor playing some Destiny 2. You got to get in on the Undisputable Crucible, man, when that's up. T-Max all about that ESO, and there was another one in here. Oh, Kent asking on Facebook. I think it's the first comment we've ever had comment on Facebook since we started streaming live over there. So hi, Kent, the one person watching on Facebook right now. How is co-op on Journey to Savage Planet? I haven't actually tried the co-op yet. Has anybody tried the co-op on
I have not yet.
JTTSP?
The game itself, though, is hilarious. Highly recommended. So good.
I've definitely been enjoying it. And I think I ticked off future podcast guest Link TV by spitting on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You can come on my show and fight me about it, dude. Until then. And now your mama knows in the chat, also playing some Little Nightmares too. Anthony working late tonight, so he's just goofing off at work by having his stat. So now we're just gonna watch the chat be the fight between Ray and Anthony that they have every week, and it's just gonna be in the chat. So that's gonna be fun today. What's up, Jim? Good to see you. All right, let's talk about some of the news of the week in the news roundup, and probably the top story. There were two things that are probably the top story this week. I'm going to go with the nice one first, and then we'll move on to the not so much. And that is that Krayta went free to play, 100% free to play. In fact, this makes our third game on Stadia that is free to play after Bomberman and Destiny 2. We're going to talk more about the concept of free to play for cloud gaming in the hot topic later on tonight. Spoiler alert, that's the hot topic. But in terms of just Krayta, what do we think about this move? Is this a good move for Krayta? Is this a smart thing for them to do? With the launch on Epic Game Store coming out, this should hopefully make for some more Krayta players.
I can't see a bad thing wrong with this. I mean, more players is going to mean more games that get created, and just the fact that it's free as well. With those cross progression, so anything you do in the Stadia version carries over to your Epic game, which I believe it's going to be free on that platform as well. So you can pick whichever one you want to play, really. I noticed Bryant from the Nerf Report, he did an interview with one of the guys from Crayta, and one of the things that blew my mind was just how much they're supporting people that create for Crayta. I mean, there's cash prizes of like thousands of dollars for people that submit games to Krayta, and you know what I mean. Those games kick off.
Brian
he said that the first person, like he said that the top person ever, which was not Bryant, he's up there, but the top person ever has got like $31,000 in just here you go, thank you for making stuff with our voxels.
Well, I think it's probably because it's like, hey, you just made like something that's extremely popular, which is only helping us make money, so you deserve some of that money, which is really kind of nice because it keeps people coming back and creating.
Yeah, Miri, have you ever gotten into any of these like Roblox, Minecraft, make your own stuff kind of games?
Yeah, I was really into Minecraft for years. Yeah, but I basically was probably too wholesome for that game. I think I just went on like create mode and just made like little houses in the shape of a cat or like, you know, a farm or something. Like
I'm detecting a theme here.
Yeah, I don't think I actually played it, you know, properly.
Everybody wants to be a cat.
It's the musical edition of Stadia Source Roundtable. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good move. We'll talk about why free to play is important in general, but with Krayta especially, that game is not. I have to reformat what I was about to say. It is a game that needs a bigger audience. Like the whole thing is, you're making games for other people to play, and then other people have to play them. So you have to have more people making games, and more people to play the games. So free to play totally makes sense. Epic Game Store totally makes sense. It being in the free category on Epic Game Store will be a really good way to pump the numbers, because once it drops on Epic, there's just going to be like a whoosh, a huge number of people, probably a whole bunch of people who will try it the first time, because anything that comes new they're going to try, and then a whole bunch of people just won't ever play it again. But then hopefully after that point they will actually stick around and continue to
I'll be interested to see what they do, because they're putting in a battle pass, right, to see what they do with that and how much that'll be, and like what it actually entails of what the rewards you get and stuff.
I don't know about like, I'm not the person that buys the costumes and the nameplates, but there are plenty of people that do that, as evidenced by the very lucrative Fall Guys and everybody else. So
I just think if this game would have only been Stadia, I mean, we had apprehensions when it first came out. It was either going to sink or swim, this game. And I think, as much as I don't want to admit it, I think it kind of sunk a little bit on Stadia, but that's purely because of the amount of people using Stadia and obviously the negative negativity surrounding Stadia in the general population. So
I also think it was rushed out. It felt a bit rough when it first launched.
Yeah,
like I remember trying. I was in a dev stream with them, and I was playing some like shooter game, and the lag in the game was just absolutely horrendous, and like it was just not a shooter game. Like there's no feedback to anything. It just like some of it was really well done. Like the actual like building like side of the game and stuff was really cool and really good. But then sometimes some of the mechanics in the game weren't polished, and which they've added now and stuff. Like they've worked on it and they're putting in loads of content, and that's great. And the devs seem really happy, and like how they're constantly updating it, and that's cool. And I'll dip in and out of it. I don't think unless I have like a group of friends who are like, hey, should we make something?
Yeah, you kind of need one of those like cadre of people building stuff together. They did say, so this is also going to have the crowd play launch. Crowd play still only on Stadia, of course, but basically they did say during Brian's interview that the crowd play is not just for playing, but it's also for making. So if you are a maker who wants to get a group of people together, I guess it's still tricky because it's still crowd play. So if you're just saying anybody can get in here and make stuff, then it's going to be penis.
I guess you still got control though, right? You can remove people though. Still,
you can boot people. So I mean, there's going to be some rails around that, but yeah.
It's just going to be people build like, no, that doesn't go there. Like,
I didn't want a car in that corner. Stop putting a car in that corner.
You've got to be really, really like lenient with the things that people are going to create.
But like I remember when it first launched, like Bill from Stadiacast was doing one, and I jumped in, and there were loads of people just doing. He just made a house, and he was like, everyone take a room, and it was cool. Like everyone just started building stuff, and he was just walking around going like, wow, this is cool. I didn't know you could do this.
It depends who your audience is, I guess. Yeah. I mean, we're quite fortunate in that, like, you know what I mean, most of the people in the chat here now I can recognize, you know what I mean, we see them week in, week out. I even interact with some of them personally on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. So, but if you've got a following of quite a large amount of people and you don't know who's coming into your, you know what I mean, your lobbies,
could be bad.
Could be bad, especially if you're streaming it as well. So
yeah, but it could be useful for like a game jam kind of thing. If you're doing like a dev weekend or something like that, that could be kind of a maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. The other, anybody else? EJ makes any thoughts on Crayta? Did you ever get into Crayta? Did you ever play anything in there?
Yeah, I got into it a little bit. As far as like it going free to play, I think that's a great move. I just think the nature of the game, it's so much like a Roblox. It's just, I don't think it was going to grow much, at least in the current state of like the Stadia platform and the community. I don't think it was going to grow much unless it like expanded out of it. Like I really see it as like a Roblox where it just has to be available to a lot of people for it to truly be successful on that scale.
Yeah.
So
it needs that YouTube streamer that puts together the Minas Tirith in Minecraft and stuff like that. Like it needs that person. And there's, I guess, other than Bryant, we love you, Bryant, but you know, it's not really that. So the other kind of larger news story this week, for good or for ill, Terraria rated and then canceled. So, Harry, I don't know if you saw this headline this week of all these shenanigans happening, but the developer behind Terraria, which is another one of these kind of building. It's 2D instead of 3D, but it's another one of these kind of build your own world kind of games that has had millions of downloads online. It got rated for Stadia earlier in the week, so we tend to find out about game releases because we see ratings on these platforms when the studios haven't said anything about it yet. We've got a couple to talk about today, but then suddenly, I think it was Tuesday night, Wednesday, there was all these tweets from the developer behind it saying, Google locked me out of my account and I've lost all my stuff because of a YouTube strike. And that's it. I'm canceling Terraria for Stadia, a game that had not been publicly announced for Stadia. So it was rated and then canceled before anybody ever said it was a thing. First reactions on this when it happened? Miri, I'll let you jump on this. When this suddenly hit and then all of a sudden just like the world exploded again on Stadia, what were your first reactions on this story?
I mean, I always tend to side with the developers and the studio because I always think they run to such tight deadlines already that it's like if anything can go wrong. I can imagine being in lockdown and working from home, they're really relying on Drive and relying on docs and all of this stuff. I can just imagine the stress of just being too much and just thinking, you know what, we've got it coming out other places, but we just don't need this stress right now. But I really think, it doesn't seem particularly well thought out. I'll say that much.
well thought out on the Google support side or on this developer's reaction to the situation side?
Just in the sense that, as you say, it wasn't even announced. So to then kind of, in unannouncing it, also be announcing it, it's kind of it's an awkward PR move for sure. But yeah, I mean, I can understand the frustration that they must have had. But I did read that they're not punishing kind of existing players on Google devices, which is at least, because I was thinking, oh God, I've got it on my phone, and I was like, oh, that's going to be gone. But apparently they're leaving that, so they've clearly, done a bit of kind of backwards thinking since.
Yeah, their choicing on this was a little interesting. Scarlett, I know you've got some feelings about that.
So my thoughts and my feelings are: don't use your personal account for your business stuff. And it comes across that this was a personal drive, a personal Gmail, and he's just been using one email. And maybe I'm just weird and I use a different email for everything. My husband has one email and probably my brother has one email, but I've got 5 because I need everything to be separate. My business is my business and my personal is my personal. And then I have my junk email, and then I have 2 others for various reasons.
It's when she's sending Russian robot pills advertisements to people, she needs to make sure those are separate.
You can't track me with these other emails. So I don't understand also. They came out and said Twitter was our last resort for coming out and saying these kinds of things. It's but you also had 3 weeks. It sounds like if you had contacts, which I'm assuming you do because it's been rated for Stadia, that means you've been talking with Stadia people, you've been talking with Google people for that matter. You should have contacts in order to be able to fix this. And I don't know, it kind of comes across as really just weird for them to come out and be like, hey, by the way, we're really mad, so therefore nobody else gets Terraria.
Yeah,
except it also comes across now and then they're also but it's okay, you guys who already have it, you guys can still have it because money or whatever. But now also they're hey, here's a bunch of news, go buy it on the other platforms because now we're a trending topic. I don't know, it just came across as crap.
That was the part of this that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, is that the guy was like, I am never doing business with Google again. This is terrible, and Google, you'll never have another cent of my attention. Except for the Terraria that's already out there where we've already sold over 1 million copies, and I still want people to buy that, but never again, nothing else other than the people. It's still going to be on Play Pass. It's on Play Pass. If you buy Play Pass, you can have it. But nobody else other than all the people who can go buy it right now. Like,
Yeah.
that's a real principled stand you're taking. If the goal is to stick it to big Google, that you're gonna just keep it out there. Like, hey, I mean, you got a studio, you got people who have daily lives and jobs, but it's costing you nothing to take this principled stand, and that's not how principled stands work. Like,
it seems like they're like, hey, we're gonna take a stand in like our bedroom window, and we're still gonna watch everything happen outside. Because like the stand would have then been, we're also taking it down from Google Play. We're taking it completely away from Google. If we're burning a bridge,
you can still use it.
Yeah,
but nobody else can buy it.
Yeah, nobody else can buy it. We're gonna take it down. You have it. You've downloaded it. Whatever, because that's a thing. You can do that. And so it came across as like, we're burning this bridge, but only like one plank, and it's okay. Everybody else can cross the bridge.
Yeah, and like, had this been, oh, I'm locked out of my Microsoft account, we're not going to put this on the Microsoft Windows Store anymore, I don't think that would have been an announcement that would have ever happened. Because Stadia is the runt of the litter, and so you can kick the Stadia dog, that's fine, but they're not hurt. Oh no, we're not going to sell 118 copies of Terraria on Stadia now.
Yeah.
Like,
I was going to buy it too. Like, I was
119.
This isn't the first time though that I've seen it before of Google like not communicating why they've removed someone's account. Like, it's happened before, and they need to improve on that.
Yes, that I agree with, because they've actually done it to me.
There's a technology problem here, and it is that you're dealing with nameless, faceless algorithms, and if this guy didn't have a platform and didn't go trending, he's gonna get his access back. It's probably already fixed, and we just haven't heard anything about it because he's not trending anymore. But had he not been a person who could go trending on Twitter, had he not been jumping on the Stadia bandwagon, and frankly, he's sold like $4 million on Google Play, he's got a contact. There's somebody who's got he's got the cell phone number. So like, had those things not been true, if I got locked out of my Gmail account, I've had it since the beta. If I got locked out, there's nothing I can do. I can click the please let me back in button, but I'm done. They're not going to pay attention to me with my 700 followers. I love all of you, but come on, like,
it is a frightening thought though, because like, I would hate to, because like my business email, like now I'm like, I need to go get one of my contact books and like write everything down so I have everybody's email still, because like, it is a worrying thing. Like, it would really suck to lose all of that, to lose emails that you've saved for various reasons, or losing access to your drive where you've uploaded and saved files, losing access to I don't know if he's lost access to Google Photos too, because like all my photos are attached to one email. So yeah, it would definitely suck. And I feel for him in that regard. Like, it's a terrible thing to go through and lose that kind of property. But going to Twitter and throwing a tantrum about it was not the right way to do it. So I feel for him on a personal level. I could care less on the professional level, because it just came across as a tantrum as opposed to an actual professional communication. And that sends me the other direction. I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah, like, send that letter to your contacts at Google. I'm pulling my stuff from your stores. I'm canceling the contract, because he was in contracting with Stadia. So that's the thing, is there's somebody at Stadia that knows him, that has him in their address book, and he could have called them up and said, hey, I need you to know I'm backing out of this contract. If you don't figure out how to get this resolved for me. And that person could have gone to the Google contacts directory for Google and went YouTube support or whatever, and like, I don't know.
I think it's also important to say, I think Stadia was an unfortunate victim in this, and that I don't think they really had anything to do with the reason it was cancelled. And everyone to jump on the bandwagon and, oh my god, another mistake by Stadia, is just complete horse, because they've literally had nothing to do with this. It's like, Stadia is part of Google, but it is not Google.
It's the meme. It's the Eric Andre. It's the Eric Andre meme with him shooting the guy in the chair and going, why would Stadia do this to me? Like, it's that meme. I have to go make that meme now. I'll be back. No.
I think if you think about it, I mean, we're the unfortunate victims as well, because like, this is probably not going to hurt Google as a massive corporation. I mean, I've said it from day one. If they close Stadia tomorrow, it probably wouldn't affect Google the same way that it would, because they make most of their money off other things, not necessarily Stadia at this point in time. Whereas Microsoft, for example, they probably make quite a lot of money from Xbox, especially when you consider that they're not in like the mobile phone business much anymore, and they don't have things like Alexas and the Google Homes and stuff like that. So it's going to spite us, the Stadia players, by not having it on Stadia as opposed to Google themselves. But I think as well, I used to follow someone called Stephen Toulouse quite a lot back in my Xbox days, and at the time he was the head of like Xbox enforcement and security to make sure that everybody played by the rules and stuff like that. And on the Major Nelson podcast, he used to go into quite a lot of detail about how the whole enforcement and banning people's accounts and stuff worked. And like, yes, it is all algorithms and stuff, but like, you got to think as well that a lot of the time they don't actually tell you why you were banned. Which, like, at least give an explanation. Like, in some cases, it's obvious. If you've uploaded something that you shouldn't have done and you get banned, it's obvious they shouldn't need to tell you that. But sometimes it's not always obvious as to why you got banned. And then there's the argument as to whether you should be allowed to extract the data, so download all your photos, download all your emails and stuff from your account. Like, you're not allowed to use it for that purpose anymore, but you can still have access to that data. So at least you're not going to lose it. And I get that that's probably a big ask for these corporations to they've got to change the way the whole thing works. But then if you think about Google, they have the ability, the takeout feature, where you can literally download all of your data from Google servers, and Facebook has exactly the same as well. So maybe it's not that much of a big ask.
Ultimately, I would imagine I'll be interested to find out if it actually ends up being really canceled, because backing out of contracts has consequences. Could be money, could be whatever else. I don't think Stadia wants the press of suing an indie developer for breach of contract. So I have to imagine that's not going to happen, because that would be another news cycle that we don't want to have to cover on this podcast. But be interesting to kind of see what happens.
As of yesterday, he's still banned, by the way. I just checked his Twitter.
Did he say
really?
Still?
Probably for the best.
He said days since I've had this icon on my phone, 25, and it's just a exclamation mark in a triangle. So
Interesting.
Well, it'd be funny if it transpires that he actually did break the terms of service and it was completely warranted.
Look, if I can't post one Nazi sympathized video without getting in trouble, then
the official Terraria YouTube has been suspended as well, right? It's not just his.
Oh.
Top row having a drink there.
All three of us in sync.
So one thing they keep pointing out too is that it's like we haven't posted anything new in like 3 months. But can bans be retroactively applied? Like, what if Google went back and found something like, this is 100% not okay? I mean, we do it all the time and everything else. It's like this person tweeted 10 years ago when they were a 13-year-old idiot. So therefore, they're terrible.
Cancel culture strikes down Terraria developer.
I mean, things change, don't they? Things that were kind of, we brushed past in the past that can now be brought back to haunt us. I mean, we've had it here in the UK where people have done funny comedy sketches or something in the past that maybe took the mickey out of, a certain group of people that they shouldn't have done. Yeah, and now they're getting called up on it. So yeah, it's entirely possible they've gone back.
It would be interesting because they got a strike, so it would be interesting to find out what of the terms of service they violated. And I don't know that he'll ever fess up to it, because they sent him an email saying, you did this thing, we don't like it, you have 3 days to fix it. They ignored it, which was also a dumb move. But I'm sorry, it's like if your electric company says we're going to shut off your lights in 3 days unless you read that and I'm sure they meant that for somebody else. I'm sure it's just not. Why is it dark in here? Like, that's decisions that anyways, so we'll find out. We will keep you updated on Terraria Watch 2021. We will keep you updated as the news comes in on this hashtag Terraria Watch 2021. We'll keep you updated on that. But in things that are better, because they are coming to Stadia, Sky Climbers. So for those of you who've been living under a non-Kickstarter rock, there is a brand new game coming to the platform called Sky Climbers. It is from a group called Paratrope.
There's no R.
So Scarlett, I know you're totally all about this thing. So tell us about Sky Climbers, and then we'll talk about the Kickstarter.
So imagine all of the best parts of Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, Monster Hunter, and any building game that you love. Mash it into one thing, toss in a really cool lore and a kick butt team behind it, and you have Sky Climbers. And there's this, the story is, I don't know a whole lot about the story. I don't know how much has actually been revealed, but you get to be part of dynasties, which give you certain creatures and certain abilities. There's lots of building. So like I said, any building game you enjoy. These are the first 3 paths that you can choose. So mage, paladin, and archer, but a 4th has been announced if they hit 100K in pledges, which is going to be engineer. So imagine having all 4 of those on your team, and you're doing your PvP, PvE stuff, and you've got a solid team there. I don't know, it looks fun, and it's only going to get better, and the creatures are adorable, and I'm excited.
Not only are the creatures adorable, there will be one more in the game now, thanks to our good friend Scarlett, who sent them an idea for a Phoenix character in the game, or Phoenix monster in the game, and they were like, "This is totally awesome. We're adding it in."
Okay, so I gotta preface that though. So Doc, Dr. Spaceman, he's one of our loyal viewers. He's amazing. He posted up at Play Sky Climbers and was like, is there any chance we could get a Stadia themed creature, maybe something like a Phoenix, because Team Stadia Play has the Phoenix logo as designed by Scarlet Stream. And so they're like, yeah, let's make this happen. And so I tweeted it also, and I was like, I have ideas. And they're like, yeah, send us your ideas. So I made in fact, I don't know, maybe can I send you the link?
I'm heading to your Twitter account right now. So
are you trying to find it?
Actually, I'll find it on theirs. Okay. I'll find it on ours, because we
retweeted
it.
So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'll throw something together, and it took me a few hours. And I sent it to them, and they're like, this is so cool. They're like, do you mind if we pass this on to Justin? Which Justin's going to be on our show in March. They're like, do you mind if we pass it on to Justin for him to kind of, update it and put it, make it in the 3D style and all that good stuff. And so it's like, yeah, sure. And then they tweeted it. And
Sky Climbers gonna make this in game for everyone to catch.
Yeah. So we now have a Stadia Phoenix and Play Sky Climbers or Sky Climbers.
And Plum Sunset, you might notice those colors right here on the screen. I'm just saying,
they are also the official Stadia colors.
The official Stadia colors. That's those are Stadia colors. It's not like they're ours. Those are our hex codes. I'm so sorry for claiming those.
So yeah.
Very, very, very cool. It looks, the game looks super fun. This is right up my alley. Like, I am a base building, city building, kingdom designing. Like, I'm totally down for that. And I love the Breath of the Wild style. All that kind of stuff is right up my alley. So I am very excited about this. Anybody else did anybody else back it? I'm not a Kickstarter backer person. I have history on Kickstarter, and so I avoid
my backing on Kickstarter. Like, I did the what was it? The one of the higher tiers, deluxe or something. I don't know. It was the $85 tier because you get 2 game codes, or two full game codes, 2 alpha keys, so alpha testing, and a plushie, and a physical USB with a Dynasty emblem of your choice, digital art book. So I mean, like for $85, I've actually just got 4 games and more. So because I can share one alpha code with a friend, I can share 1 full game code with a friend, and there you go. So
it's gonna be clearly no. I was about to offer your alpha code on our show. It's not a thing we can do.
I'm giving that to my husband.
We can back it. We can back it, and then give this out. But yeah, in fact, my Google Foo is telling me this is the first game ever to be kickstarted for Stadia. I mean, it's going to be on other platforms, but I've not found any other games that reference Stadia on the entirety of Kickstarter. So, kudos to you, Team Stadia.
It's the fact as well that the first goal was like 25,000, and they're above 50,000 now. So, and that's in like 2 days. Oh, that even more then. So, and that's within 2 days of them announcing it, and the majority of the people who have backed it, from what I've seen, are Stadia players as well. Which, I mean, you can obviously extrapolate this and just say, collectively, we can actually do quite a lot if we think about it. We can do quite a lot of good.
Somebody should write a letter and post that about. I'm just kidding.
Need to apply that to other areas.
Yes, we can. We just need more people to start Kickstarters. Somebody, we have this horrible thing in the UK or in the US. I'm sure you have in the UK where people like do GoFundMe's for like medical concerns. I need money to. Well, you don't have that because you have medicine. Over here, people are like, I have to have surgery and I can't afford it. Can somebody help me? So clearly, what we need to do is a GoFundMe for Stadia on life support, right? Anyways, so
Indiegogo.
Stadia desperately needs surgery to moving on. Speaking of other new games that are coming out there, Little Nightmares 2 launched straight onto Pro, bringing us up to 4 Pro games for the month, and then Piku Niku also released. Did anybody pick up? Obviously, Little Nightmares. Did anybody pick up Piku Niku at all?
I think I've only seen one person playing it, if I'm honest. There's only one person on the Stadia Source website that's playing it, I think, at the moment. So
yeah, I'm not
that's
really sure
true. You have knowledge.
Miles, our reviewer, was playing it on his. He was doing personal stream. I tuned in for about 5 minutes, thought, what the hell is going on? And then this is not a game for me. I think he was playing basketball or something, and his like little red man's legs were just like kicking the ball. It was really weird.
Yeah,
weird game.
Piku Niku. We'll pull up the trailer here. It looks like weird and flat and cute-ish. I don't know.
It wasn't what I expected. From if I just looked at like the thumbnail, like of like the game, it's not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Well, here's the Switch launch trailer. It's fine. I just heard the Switch click in my head. So yeah, it's all like weird blobby shaped creature things.
This looks better than the actual game.
I literally have not watched anything on this. It sounds real weird. I don't know if I don't think I shared sound, so I don't think you guys can hear this. This looks like an 80s like claymation Gumby. What is
this? Isn't what the
heck?
game looks like.
It looks like this. There you go.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, cool! You're finally awake.
The music is do 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 be boop ba da ba do ba do ba do 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 be boop ba da ba da. So it's very
it's a platformer.
It reminds. So
there that's what I saw Miles doing.
Y'all are way too young to know what I'm about to discuss. But there was this game on the NES that was called like Yolksy or Eggsy or something. Eggy.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
And it was like a platformer weird thing about this just egg. Egg.
Was there like a troll on a bridge and everything?
It was Dizzy. Dizzy was the name of it. It was a NES, Sega Genesis, MS-DOS, the Fantastic Dizzy series.
Oh, no, that's what I'm thinking of.
From Codemasters. The forbidden publisher who made games even though the NES didn't want them to. So yeah, it looks It looks interesting enough. Yeah, I don't know. But Little Nightmares too, clearly popular. EGMX, big fan. How are you like comparison to the first? Is it better, best, more of the same, just still goodness? Would Little Nightmares 1 have been a Game of the Year contender?
In comparison, I think I've only played the beginning, right, so far. So if I'm comparing the beginning of Little Nightmares 2 and the beginning of that game, I think Little Nightmares 2 like upped the intensity and the suspense and like everything that was really good about the first game, it upped it to another level. So for me, Little Nightmares 2 so far is like better, but I have to get through the rest and really see if it stacks up like overall. But all in all, like I'm loving it. Like my hype was like through the roof, and it met my expectations. Like it was just it's everything right now. But yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear there's something good happening in these scary games on Stadia world.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about that. Sorry, I just had to hit save on a thing that I should have done before the show. So in fact, I'll switch things around a little bit. We'll talk about that right now in terms of some game updates. So a bunch of different games got some updates, DLC announcements, all that kind of good stuff this week, including Borderlands 3 Director's Cut. We got to see some of the more details on that one. Big update for Ember, their second district coming out and all that kind of stuff. The last major update before they go official launch. They're still in early access. And then Dead by Daylight had a big old patch this week. And Dom, I am to understand that patch is not well received. Tell us about the big Dead by Daylight update this week.
So, like, it's really frustrating because they have a PTB, a public test realm. PTR, I don't know, whatever, a beta thing basically, yeah, where they preview all the stuff that's coming, and in it they were like, right, these are the changes we're proposing, and the community feedback was, no, this is terrible, don't do it. And they were just like, yeah, you'll get used to it. And so they put it in, and now it's terrible. And unfortunately, like, I love Dead by Daylight, and the devs do a fantastic job, but every patch they bring in some new weird bugs that are just like, what? How's this happened? So at the moment, people are complaining about a bug where you can, as a killer, you can basically hit a survivor who was about 5 meters away from you. Like the hit registration is just broken. So people are just like, this is a joke. Like, why should I play? They updated the UI, and instead of everything sort of being in the bottom left, which is nice and easy for you to see, quick glance, you can see everything, they spread all around the four corners. So literally all the information is everywhere now. And it's just, it feels like they're trying to make it like the mobile game, and it doesn't work. And they've also done like new animations for all the survivors and things. So like new walking and like standing, but it just feels like really stiff, and it just looks meh. And they basically,
it's
like, there was
meh by Daylight.
There was huge like Reddit threads on the DVD subreddit, and they've come out now basically said, listen, we hear you, we're working on it, bear with us.
Those are always the best updates that start with "we hear you." That means we screwed up. We're acknowledging that we screwed up. We hear you.
Like it, yeah. Like they'll fix it, but like it's not been the first time that there's these weird bugs.
Well, it's just it's funny because like 10 years ago, this whole we'll fix it would not have happened. Microsoft wouldn't have gone backwards on their price raise. Dead by Daylight wouldn't have cared because there wasn't enough people on social media to care. There wasn't enough anybody anywhere to care.
I guess in 10 years ago, we didn't really have games that evolved.
Once it was out, it's
like
done.
you had like World of Warcraft or something that was like the big one with DLCs and stuff.
Okay, so let's say World of Warcraft though was like, all right, guys, so here's an update we're planning, and World of Warcraft's like, no, they're like, too bad, here you go. They wouldn't have gone backwards and changed it. They wouldn't have gone forward and fixed it either. Like there wasn't a whole. We actually have to listen to the people back then. Now there is, because there's enough people to complain about it that it just drives ratings down, so that nobody buys it. I just find it really funny.
On Steam or wherever. Yeah.
Speaking of games that won't probably get like updated anytime soon, or I think we've seen a little bit of chatter, especially in tonight's chat as well, about Journey to the Savage Planet. There's quite a game breaking bug in that, and someone reached out to the people behind. I can't remember the studio's name.
505.
Yeah, to say there's a bug, and they've basically turned around and said, well, now that Stadia Games and Entertainment isn't a thing, we don't care. So,
well, but then I saw a post on the Stadia forums, and someone said that they got a reply from 505 saying that they were working on it. So, like, I don't think the studio just closed down like that, right? They said they were winding it down. So I think it was a progressive thing, and I imagine there are some people.
And 505 isn't Stadia Games and Entertainment anyways. 505 is its own thing. So there's nothing stopping them from fixing the bug.
They're probably going like, fine, we'll fix it. We lost.
Well, it's my understanding that this is affecting only those who are trying to do a second playthrough. Because I haven't seen anything wrong, and I earlier I launched it up when somebody was mentioning it in chat. I launched it up and I fiddled around using. Going to drop a little feature here. Playing some Stadia on my phone with the touchpad screen. I was testing it out while you guys were chatting. Sorry, and it was working just fine for me. I don't know exactly what the bug is. I've only seen one Reddit thread about it. So I don't know if anybody knows anything more than I do.
Probably wasn't really even worth mentioning at this point, really, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Or it could be one of those like bugs that you got to get 60 hours into the game, or you got to click the right thing, or whatever.
So when most people have already moved on.
What? You mean people play a game for 5 hours and then stop playing it because it's free on Pro and there's so many others to play? Well, my God. Last but not least, we'll talk in the news roundup here. A bunch of different games. Oh, did anybody have any thoughts on Borderlands 3 or Ember?
Bring cross-progression on Borderlands 3 now.
Yes.
Couch
petition. We need a
split
petition.
Couch split screen. Well, they need to go on.
that.
They clearly need to go on Kickstarter for it. So that's really what you're gonna get. Bunch of game announcements. It came from space and 8 Hour Brains.
Oh, that's actually a title? I thought you just put that in there.
No,
that is just generate 5 words and put them in random order.
I'm reading the show notes and I'm like, all right, I guess we're jokes everywhere.
I'm about to say, you've seen some of the stuff I put in the show notes, so it wouldn't be completely beyond me to do that. But I'm going to go to the official PS4 launch trailer because that's where it was out first. It's coming right at you in the miracle of perfected 3D. And not only it came from space and 8 Hour Brains, the way that we've typed it everywhere is the way this is typed. It's all lowercase.
Seriously?
Which is slightly annoying.
Which only you can see at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, dadgummit, are you kidding me? How dumb am I? So StreamYard did a thing. StreamYard did a thing so that you could share stuff without it immediately showing up on screen. Good for them. But then I'm sitting here narrating this trailer. All right, you guys, and then on this screen, I'm a moron. It's fine though. So yeah. So it's blocky, voxely, aliens.
Minecraft style.
I'm getting VeggieTales vibes from the way they're moving.
Oh yeah. VeggieTales. Okay,
Came
so
from space and theater brains.
There you go. It's a little what was the game? What was the twin stick shooter from super long ago that also had like a Nintendo 64 release that was really good? Oh, somebody in the chat tell me. Twin stick shooter where it's like aliens, and it was like one of the very first ones. It was an arcade twin stick shooter. Somebody help me with this. But anywho, look, it even has couch co-op on your PS4.
Yeah, I hope that has couch co-op for Stadia.
Yeah.
Well, all right then.
There you go. It looks fun. Hold on, I think I just remembered. Is it Cybertron 64? No. Something. No. Oh, it's gonna bother me. Somebody, please help me out here.
Somebody to help me.
Yeah. And Nintendo.
Robotron 64.
Robotron. Thank you. Something Trod. Everybody, this is great entertainment, you guys. This is amazing things to do on a podcast. We also got ratings for the Shantae game series, the Half Genie series, which is really fun. Welcome to Elk, Merrick's Market, and 100 Days. Announcements and ratings. Anybody on any of those have any care? Miri, have you played any of the It Came from Space and Ate Our Brains, Shantae, Welcome to Elk, Merrick's Market, or 100 Days? Some of those are brand new. But...
I've not. I'm so behind. I'm only realizing now.
There are too many games. Like just even on Stadia, there's too many games. And then let alone if I had any other platform other than PC to play on.
My backlog is filthy, honestly.
Right, bro.
Shameful.
Oh God.
Well.
Oh God. Well, on that note, you can check out all the latest news and reviews on StadiaSource.com. The question is, what should we do next with the show?
I don't know, Avery. Where shall I go?
Well, frankly, Scarlet Stream, I don't give a damn, and that means it's time for the hot topic. You do it? Is that a good one? Yeah.
Woo, high fives.
Yes. There we go. Got the baseball from Dom. I was waiting on that. Miri's like, "What did I sign up for? Why am I doing that?"
I think it's just mostly like a UK.
Coordinated segue of Stadia Source around table.
Exactly.
So usually the UK people are just going, what?
Like I have no idea what that was. Like,
Because we don't have hot topics over here, so
It was from Gone with the Wind, the quintessential
no, but I'm on about
American
normally,
movie.
usually.
Gone with the Wind since I was like 12 at school. Like,
You don't watch horribly antiquated racist movies about the American South? Come on, Dom.
oh God, sorry, I just put it out of my collection in the corner.
The Criterion collection coming down off the shelf. So the hot topic for tonight, which I already made go away, so I'll bring it is free to play in the cloud. So obviously, we've got Destiny 2, we've got Bomberman, Super Bomberman R Online, and we've got now Krayta joining that list of games that are 100% free to play in the cloud. So I wanted this to be our hot topic tonight because I wanted us to kind of just talk about. I wanted us to think about it, but not actually say anything out loud for 35 minutes. And then this will be the worst podcast ever. The role of free-to-play games in cloud gaming, like how cloud gaming grows and evolves, and what role that free-to-play will play in that. We could certainly obviously talk about Destiny, Bomberman, Krayta, but just why is this important? So, Ejimix, I'm going to start with you. Obviously, you've played a few of these games, Destiny and things of that nature. For you, where does free to play fit in the realm of encouraging people to use cloud gaming? Like, where does free to play fall into that?
Okay, let me think about this. Okay, all right. So I think free to play games fit in the cloud in such a way where I think live service games will become a lot more important. I think games like Destiny 2 and Fortnite, games that have like a grand scale and like things that are constantly happening. Like, Fortnite, I don't play it much, but I know there's like a story behind it. So I think when it comes to cloud gaming and it being accessible to everyone, I think, games that are of that scale are going to become a lot more important. And, I wasn't prepared. I wish I wrote this down so I can really think about it. But
it's
right
almost
now,
as if I sent the show notes doc like 3 hours ago that you could have. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. Nobody ever looks at the show notes doc. Nobody. It's fine. Other than the guest.
But yeah.
Any other thoughts on that? Okay. So, well, Miri, in this regard, I mean, obviously the big challenge with cloud gaming is just getting people to believe that it's a thing. And so what kind of role does free to play in that?
Well, I mean, just personally, I think one of the best things about cloud gaming anyway is that it's so intrinsically accessible. It's not hugely costly regardless of whether you're buying the games or not. It lets people in. And I think video games, and people have said this sounds stupid, but I stand by it. Like, I just think they're important. Like, I think they're important for young people. I think they're important bonding exercises. I think especially in lockdown, it's really good for people to just have that connection with people. And I think if it's on your phone, which is something you have already, and then on top of that, it's also free, there's so much more, I guess, potential for people playing with their friends or meeting people or just having that like social interaction, which I think it's been difficult for people to, necessarily afford the latest PS4 that their friends have or PS5 now, or, get a really fancy PC or something. And I think it's important that if it's going to be kind of an alternative, that it does offer these free games as well.
Yeah, and I know there's a bit of this, Dom. I'll bring you in on this. There's a bit of this that is like convincing the cloud gaming skeptic that cloud gaming works is hard to do if they have to start by putting money down on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, like it allows people just to test the service, right? First of all, to make sure that it works, right? Like Stadia, for example, at the moment only has the 3 free games, and out of those 3 games, I think Destiny's probably the only one that's going to have any real pull to it. Like people might try Bomberman, but I don't think it's not a game you like. Hey, I can't wait to get home and play Bomberman for the 7th time in a row. It wears you, like it's the same kind of thing, right? Crayta, I think, albeit is bigger than Bomberman, still won't have that same draw because it's quite a committed game. Like if you're someone who makes games, you're going to be in it for hours, but not many people, I think, have the patience to be making games and coding and making those like really cool and special games. I think it's kind of the thing you might jump in every now and again and be like, oh, hey, someone created this new game, let me try it out. It's tricky. Like there are lots of different platforms and stuff. At the moment, to me, Stadia has the easiest way. You literally log in, you click it, you play, right? GeForce Now, like, you have to mess around with different logins. You have to sort other stuff out. Same with Shadow, same with other things. You have to queue if you don't pay. Like free to play is important, and it's also beneficial for the devs, right? Like look how successful some of the biggest free to play games are, like League of Legends, Valorant, Fortnite. Yeah, like it's ridiculous the amount of money they've made over the years from being a free game. Like you just don't think that the people, as you said, are buying skins, are buying cosmetics, are buying special nameplates, are buying because they want to and they want to support the devs and because it makes them look cool.
I think I've given RuneScape loads of money, and there's just no.
So I've been playing League of Legends for 8 years now or something. I haven't given any money for a good few years now, but a few years ago they brought back a tool where you could check like how much money you spent, and it was well over £1,000 on a free game on just cosmetics that literally had no impact whatsoever. So like it all adds up, right? Because you're just like, oh, I'll just buy this little thing here. And a few weeks later, like, oh, I'll buy this one as well, and it just snowballs, and you just keep building this collection. It's a draw to the platform, and it gets people in the door. Is the main thing, I think.
That's like me on Pokemon Go. I think I can't imagine the amount of money I've spent. I just need 100 more Pokeballs, or I just need another incubator, or I just need a raid pass to do this raid. And it's like
it's when I use Google rewards.
Yeah, but I mean, even then you tend to outdo them. But like you got to look at the Google Play Store. I mean, what percentage of games on the Play Store is free to play? Like not necessarily just because they're probably not worth paying like actual money if it's just like someone who's just made a game that's not really that good and bunged it on the Play Store. But like a lot of the top games like your Mario Karts and your Pokemons and stuff like that, they're still free to play because they have that extra element of subscriptions and cosmetics and stuff like that. And like obviously there's some people that think that like Stadia could go that way, like in the way of the Play Store. Maybe some of the games that are kind of high-end Play Store could eventually see their way onto Stadia, like Terraria, for example. I know it's not just a mobile game, but it is there.
Not anymore. But,
but that's the way people saw it going. Is that we could maybe they could take some of the content from the Play Store and bring it to Stadia, or I don't know whether that's an easy process or not, or whether it even will happen. But
I feel like it's massive important that they are just free to play as well, though. Some some games, I think that if every free game brought in microtransactions and, you know, subscriptions and all this kind of stuff. I think there is definitely a time and a place for that, you know, but I think it's really important that some games are just always there, just always available. You know, people say, oh, if you really want to play this game, all you need to do is, you know, get Stadia and you can just play it. And I just think it's important that there's kind of genuine free to play alongside, like you were saying, with so some games kind of coerce you into buying things, even though they say they're free. And I'm just kind of always a bit wary of that.
It's a recurring income, isn't it? Rather than just paying one set price for a game and then that's it.
Yeah, it would have been cheaper to, you know, pay the 60 quid or whatever for a game in the end. And I think
you think about people like Call of Duty, though, right? They're one of the biggest gaming franchises in the world, and they've moved to a free-to-play model with Warzone, and how successful and crazy that's been.
Yeah.
And they provide a lot of content through their Battle Pass, which a lot of people pay. Are happy to pay that, I don't know, £10 for, I can't remember how long it is, the Battle Pass season, to get cosmetics and other random stuff. Because like when they then play it a year later, someone who's new to the game might be like, oh, how did you get that? Oh, I did this 6 months ago in the Battle Pass, which is it's like a limited edition kind of thing. And that gives that little reward to gamers, and they like makes them feel good and like, oh, look at this cool thing that I unlocked that no one else has got because I was doing it this time.
Well, Scarlett, the first time you were ever on the podcast, you said the number one thing Stadia has to do is get to YouTube streaming. So they've done that now. So I wonder what amount of room free to play gets if YouTube streaming is completely open to everybody. These crowd plays, crowd choices, all those things are open. So now there's that much more content on YouTube for them to run ads on and make their money back that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure. Because ads not only populate based on your previous viewing, but also on what you're watching. Sometimes, unless you're on like CW, then you get really weird commercials. But one thing with free to play is everybody's favorite curse word, microtransactions. It's so much easier to get somebody to spend $1 here and $1 there because, it's just $1. But if you spend $1 every day, that's now $360 as opposed to a $60 game. And it's the whole trap of money, and businesses do this all the time. Is that, you know, this is only a couple bucks, and then a couple days later, you're like, this is also only a couple bucks, so I can get this too. And it catches so many people. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people I know have been like, I just spent like $300 last month on a bunch of stuff I didn't need because it was only $5 each time. I'm not saying that that's the whole diabolical plan, but that is the secondary diabolical plan. Free to play is important though, because there are people who want to play games that don't have the money for your AAA titles or for your systems or for anything like that. And so being able to come into a free-to-play game is a lot of fun because then they can kind of get into it and they can still experience things like that. Unfortunately, with free-to-play, it's often pay to win. And so, like, I mean, I come into Destiny 2. I have 500 silver in Destiny 2 that I still haven't gotten in and done anything with because I used it. I bought it on Google Play so that I could get extra pass points because but they've got some money from me now. Destiny 2 does. But then like I can't go into Destiny 2 because I'm so late to the game that everybody else who has money to pour into a game like this or has the time to spend 8 hours a day playing a game like this are like light years ahead of me. And so like I appreciate being able to play Destiny 2 and experience it, and the people there have been really great. Like I've met some really, really cool players through Destiny 2 who have actually helped me when I'm a total like complete noob, zeros and all on that game. And yet they're like, it's okay, you know, we'll go this way, we'll show you. And they, you know, carry me through a whole bunch of things. So that's a lot of fun. So I think free to play as a community, and especially right now, I think Miri was touching on that. Like, especially right now, people need community when we can't be physically together. So I think having these free to play is just, it's good. It's good all around, and yeah.
Well, and a lot of these, I mean, and it's not, it doesn't even necessarily have to be microtransactions that's the avenue to go down, but certainly, you know, I was over on the Epic Games Store looking at their free section, and I mean, there's still like Fortnite, Rocket League went free to play this year. You know, Hyperscape launched in free to play. Then you've got like, there's a whole almost a generation of MMOs that just free to play was what they do. Star Trek Online, Path of Exile, Neverwinter, bunch of others. I'm not saying anything. Even DDO went free to play. Lord of the Rings Online is free to play.
It's amazing how many MMOs started as a subscription base and then went free to play. Like Star Wars, The Old Republic was.
I was just thinking of it too.
You had to have a subscription. And now, but they're very clever how they do it, because they're like, hey, you can play for free, but you kind of don't get all the same rewards because you look.
Do you see that gate over there?
Yeah.
You can't get through that gate unless you buy.
They let you do the whole game.
Oh, that castle looks real interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because I picked it up I was playing it again because I bought it when it first came out. I quite enjoyed it, and I played it again a few months ago. And like you loot some stuff, and it's like, yeah, you need one of these tokens, and you're like, what token is that? Oh, you have to subscribe to get one of those tokens. You're like, you son of a.
Then they still catch you with that.
Yeah.
You subscribe once, and then you get like half of it, and you have to come back out.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, you can totally earn the infernal keys through playing the game, but if you'd like to open up the 700 infernal loot boxes you have, I mean, we sell a pack in the store, so you know you could. And we've got Elder Scrolls Online is buy to play on the system, but once you've done that, and it came out free on Pro, so it's clearly a model that can work. I definitely think on the concept of like just getting it into people's hands. The demo. This is the other one I was going to bring. Somebody in the chat brought up the demo. We don't have demos on Stadia right now. There's still the Immortals Phoenix Rising demo, but that's it. So other than that, we've only ever had two other ones: the Pac-Man, which is now just on the platform, and the Humankind. And so that's another way. Like if people are nervous about playing. Investing in the cloud, they need a way to try it, and we're not really getting into the whole demo thing yet.
Yeah, I love a demo.
So,
always love a demo.
People were mentioning getting the demos in like the Xbox magazines or whatever. Like gaming has kind of drifted in weird ways.
yeah, we even then, like, I saw somebody on Twitter was like, what if the E3 game demos were all on Stadia this year? Wouldn't that be amazing? I'm like, well, yeah, I really like to see that myself, but I don't know.
It's when you watched E3, like we used to have the Microsoft like E3 presentations for the Xbox, and they'd say, like, I remember specifically a Minecraft update, and it was like, this update is now free to play right now on Xbox. Well, not necessarily, because I've got to download the game for a start if I don't already have it. Plus, then I've got to download the update. So you're probably talking it's free to play in about half an hour's time. But yeah, if they could have the demos that were coming to Stadia just immediately playable, that would be awesome. But at the same time, you got to think, if you're watching the E3 and then they say it's available to play right now, people would just play the game right now and stop watching E3. Or so you kind of got to say, but after the show, wait.
I'd also like to raise a separate point on the subject of free to play. I think Stadia need to. At the moment, there's only one way to, like, the whole, when you join Stadia, where you're forced to join Stadia Pro for the free month.
Yeah.
There's no real, like, no thanks. Like, you have to do
there
that.
There was for like 2 weeks, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that is kind of an issue, like, because some people are just like, especially if they want to try free, because even the free to play games, right? You still have to, if it's your first time, you still have to sign up for Stadia Pro, put your credit card in, and then cancel it if you don't want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I get why they do it, because it gets you hooked in, but equally, I don't know.
I feel like a subscription is a bit different in a way than that kind of gradual oh, you've played this much of the game. Well, to progress, you're going to have to sink, X amount of money into it. I guess with a subscription, you at least know, I like this game. I want to pay for it. I'm paying less than I would be if I was just to buy the game. And I'm kind of expecting content. So as soon as that stops and I'm not happy with it anymore, I can just go, that's it. That's me done. And I would prefer that. I think like if you got a demo as well, as you were saying, like that would be perfect for me. It's like demo and then subscription would be like the ideal, because then at least kind of what to expect. You can have higher expectations because you think, well, look, I'm paying you every month, so you gotta impress me. So.
Like I think it would make sense, right? If there was demos and free games to like, when you joined, if they're like, hey, do you want Stadia Pro for a month? And you'd be like, no. But then it can be kind of be like, you can activate this when you want. So then you can try the game and then be like, actually, this service actually really works really well. I kind of want to, why don't I give this free month a go? But like the initial, like you're forced to do that puts people off.
Well, even then, like the thing that would make the most sense to me is you go to stadia.google.com or stadia.com. If you're not a member, there's a little iframe on the page that says try Bomberman on R Online now for free, or try insert game here. Click it, and that and that says great, your mouse and keyboard are activated, you're now playing, and let them try it. Let them try it for free.
Kelef is right. Sorry, in the chat. Like because in a separate Discord people were talking about this, but I think there is the Destiny 2 link still works where you can bypass the Pro requirement, which kind of seems a bit silly, but
it's not
I think what they need to do is they need to take, we have the free play weekends and stuff, like they are locked behind Pro. And what I think they need to do is open them up to everybody, whether you're Pro or not. Because not only that, but like if you play the free play games and you decide at the end of the weekend, I actually like this game, not only is there usually a discount as well, but you also get to keep all your achievements. You also get to keep all of your progress. So you can just buy the game and carry on as normal. So I think that would be one way to kind of not circumvent demos, but give that kind of demo-like experience, if you know what I mean. So, but I do agree. We need game demos, especially like. Well, I mean, back in the day when you used to buy a PlayStation magazine, you almost have gone to the newsagents, bought the PlayStation magazine. You get the disc. It's got 5 game demos on it. You put it in the PlayStation. Boom, you're away. You don't have to download, gigabytes of data just to play 20 minutes of the latest Resident Evil game or something like that. So that would kind of bring us back to that era, if you like.
Yeah, I think what was cool about the demo with IFR though, with Gods and Monsters, was that it was totally separate. It was like this demo is Stadia, only it was a whole separate made for demo. It wasn't just like the first 20 minutes of the game. It was actually a whole separate thing. And I get that, but then we have to make a whole separate thing. It's like, yeah, but if you just take elements from the rest of the game and move that map, and I mean, I'm oversimplifying it because I've never made a game and I never plan to. But I think it'd be really cool to see more actual different demos, not just the first, you get to play a total of 30 minutes, kind of like how Monopoly is or whatever. It's like, no, you actually have a separate demo that lets you experience it as long as you want to in this confined space. I don't know. I think that was something that was especially cool about the IFR demo.
And there's room for that. That's one of those ones where nobody's ever going to believe this technology works. I've said it a million times. The easiest way to get somebody to believe, that cloud gaming works is to put a controller in their hand and have them try it. And so I think this is an area where demos are obviously one path. Free to play is obviously another path. I mean, and I'm going to say when, because I'm 100% certain that it's coming. When Fortnite launches on Stadia, that's it. Like, we're going to see 500,000 people drop onto the platform overnight. Boom. Because they're playing this game. Or if we get a Rocket League or an Apex Legends or something like that.
No, they're going to ban their Google accounts, so it's not going to happen.
Then we get to play anyways. It doesn't really matter. Anybody else got any last...
Had Bethesda not been acquired, like, I was fully expecting Skyrim Legendary Edition to hit Stadia because it's on everything. And
Skyrim
I'm still
on Pro would have been just like boom.
And like, honestly, like, it'd be really cool to also see, you know, like Minecraft Dungeons come to Stadia, because they showed that whole thing of the cross play, and I think it was even cross-gen cross play, if I remember correctly. And they had the 4 of them in their different suits. They're green, they're blue, they're red, and they're, I think it was light blue for PC is maybe what it was. But like, imagine if we had a Plum and Sunset character, and suddenly we could also do 5-player co-op. Like, I have hopes and dreams.
We'll get there. We're gonna get. Somebody. I don't know. I don't think anybody on the 2021 predictions. We missed a couple, you guys. We missed a couple of predictions during that show, but I don't think anybody mentioned demos or games coming. But I think we'll. I think we'll get there. Anybody got final thoughts on the important role of free to play?
No.
Important. It's a role, and it's going to be free to play. Well, you can get involved in the hot topic on the interwebs, you guys, on the Twitters. Tweet at us at Stadiasaurus with the game, the free to play title in the universe, other than Fortnite. I'm going to ban Fortnite from this one because we all know. Give us the free to play title that you want to see launch on Stadia in 2021 at Stadiasaurus. Tweet at us. We'll retweet some of the best that you do there. In the meantime, Miri, thank you for being a part of the show tonight. So glad to have your insights. If people want to find you on the interwebs, where can they go?
They can do Twitter, they can do Instagram. I'm trying to get back into Twitch streaming, and it's all just at allegedly Miri. Because I'm not going to put my last name in there because no one can spell it.
Is it really Miri, or is it just allegedly Miri? Because that's the question. I'm not sure.
Supposedly
it's allegedly.
People have to watch my content to find out. If
it's actually you or not.
Yeah, because it might not be.
You should do the Twitch streams and just have somebody else do it. And be like, yeah, I was going to ask, is that a cat mug and is there coffee in it?
No, it is a Fallout mug.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
Nice. Okay.
No, it's hot squash.
Wait. Hot squash as in like...
Is in like cordial?
Yeah.
Oh!
What flavor?
Warm? What?
It's a thing.
No, that's not no.
Lemon, maybe if you've got a cold or something.
I have.
What flavor? Lemon.
It's medicinal.
I'm out of the loop here.
Do you have... Is there a different name for this vegetable over there? Because like zucchini and cucumbers and pumpkins are in the squash family.
I thought you meant like you blend squash and we're drinking it hot.
It's like a concentrate that you put water with.
No, I mean like diluted juice.
Yeah.
The US people are just
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, well, no, because
he's like,
instead of like
butternut squash is a type of soup that a lot of people have.
We have that as well, but it's like a really concentrated fruit, and then you dilute it with water.
So like V8 juice.
We have like orange juice in concentrate and.
This is like you buy it in a bottle and then you pour it a little bit into a glass and then you fill the rest of it with water.
You'd be like,
it's super sweet.
Really
hold
strong.
on, we're gonna put the UK against the US, folks. We're gonna figure this out.
Oh gosh.
I'm kidding. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna put everybody back where they go. Okay.
I mean, we got like those frozen concentrates, and then we have water.
Can I just say, next week hot topic drinks.
There you go.
No, that's the hot toddy. Get it? Yes! 2 in 1 show. Probably more than that. I need to go back and track. I'm going to release a supercut of all. I've said that before. I'm going to release a supercut. All right. So allegedly, Miri, her Twitter link is in the description box down below. Thank you for being on the show tonight. We absolutely appreciate you. And check out her articles on IGN and Indie Gamer and NME. And if there are likes or thumbs up buttons on any of those, go click them because those algorithms matter for freelance shareholders, right? So do that thing. You can also, those of you who are hanging out with us in the chat, check out the Stream Team Dream Team on the Source Feed Live streaming all week long, including Charm Cities, the game show, the Stadia Game Show, Scarlet's Ready Gamer 1, All Purpose Chance Power Up Plus, Nintendo's Dead Down Gaming, Bruiser Bruises Doms, Stadia Domination of Dawn by Daylight, including the Dawn by Daylight Masterclass series kicking off next Wednesday. You got to be a member. Sunday.
This Saturday.
Sunday. 2 days. Saturday. Kicks off this week. Check out the Dawn by Daylight Masterclass. You got to be a member of the channel, so hit that join button down below if you want to be the first people to see that. And it's going to be like a month before we release it to everybody else. I'm just saying. You have to wait on them. So Blue Bob's the break-even point and the hotspot with Mix right down there in the corner. If you've been watching us live, we appreciate fantastic chat, everybody. We appreciate everybody participating live in the chat, and especially all of those people who are watching me do this thing that I do every single week because I can never remember to do a thing that I'm supposed to do on the show, even though it's in the show notes doc. And I really actually just need to put a link. That's what I need to do. I am going to link this in the show notes doc because I would be an intelligent human to do that. And what I'm talking about that I'm stalling for time is to thank all the people that support us here on Stadia Source, such as Jack the Slip, who will actually be our a special guest on the Cloudburst stream this Saturday. Stadia streamer, all the folks in the platinum tier, the gold tier, the silver tier, the bronze tier, the one more person bought us a coffee. Yay! I think you guys are just doing that because you see how excited it makes me, and then you buy a coffee. And all of our previous patrons, you can buy us a coffee by hitting that button down below, or we got to swap that button out, man. Or you can join us here on Facebook, or not Facebook. You can't join us on Facebook, but you can join us here on YouTube. Guys, it's been a long week. It's been a long week. That just leads me to say goodbye to the round table. Dan, thank you for being on your show.
Thank you for having me on my show.
Dom, good to see you as always.
Pleasure as always.
Scarlett, I do give a damn that you were here today.
Aw, ciao.
And Mix, good to see you as well.
Anytime.
If you are listening to the podcast, you can join us live most Thursday evenings right here on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can download our podcast on Spotify, Pocket Casts, and everywhere else you get podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at StadiaSource. Like us on Facebook. Add me at no additional cost. Supplies are limited. Act now. And join our Discord at StadiaSource.com/Discord. You can even wear Stadia Source when you are out and about by going to StadiaSource.com/merch. I would normally tell you about the music at the top of the show. It's called June by a guy named Billy Richards, and he doesn't have a website, so I can't tell you where to find him. So that's the last and only time I'm going to mention that our new music is June. Yay for him. Hosting for StadiaSource.com generously provided by Rock. You can find out more about the technical expertise of Rock at rokk.co.uk. Yes, I did. And if you haven't already, down below is the thumbs up button that lets us know you like the show. Right next to it is a subscribe button that lets you know every time we post a new video. You can also become a member of the Stadia Source channel right here on YouTube with awesome perks at every level of your budget. For the Stadia Source, thank you for joining us on the Stadia Source Roundtable Podcast for Stadia Source, your number one source for Stadia news and reviews. My name is Avery. I hope you have a good one.